As a rideshare driver, do you have signs in your vehicle? If so, what is written on those signs? Today we're going to talk about another sign that yours truly is considering and definitely will recommend this. What up, folks? Once again, it is your boy Tim with another ride sharing video. Now, there's a lot of drivers that do have signs in their vehicle. Primary message on many of those signs: tips are encouraged. But today's video is not going to be about tipping. We all live for tips, would love to get tips. I've made numerous videos about the fact that most rideshare passengers, whether on Uber or Lyft, do not tip us at all. But we're not going to be talking about that today. Today I'm going to be talking about adding stops. I've done a host of videos in regards to the fact that it has become very dangerous for folks engaging in ride sharing. Drivers being carjacked all over the damn country. Drivers being robbed, some completely losing their lives, just simply trying to usher passengers from point A to point B. So what sign am I recommending? What sign am I considering putting in a vehicle? Any additional stops must first be approved by the driver. It can be written as due to safety concerns, due to neighborhood concerns. There are neighborhoods, if you are a rideshare driver in any urban area in America, there are neighborhoods that are just simply dangerous for your ass to visit. So due to safety concerns, any additional stops added must first be approved by the driver. All of us, if you've been driving in rideshare for any length of time, have been cruising down the road, happily getting your passenger to point B, when all of a sudden the damn app went off and notified you that that passenger behind you, that smiling, cute passenger behind you, has quietly added some shit that you would rather not do. So I'm going to put a sign right there on the back of the headrest, perhaps on the glove compartment. Due to safety concerns, any additional stops must first be approved by the driver. Because a lot of passengers know there is shit we do not want to do. There are places we do not want to go. There are distances we do not want to drive. So the easy way to avoid rejection is just to do the shit without asking you. Just to get in the car, put in a 5 or 10 mile stop, have you come pick them up, and then change it once you get there and they're in your car to somewhere that's 40, 50 miles away, or having you go into the middle of the Gaza Strip where you're likely to get carjacked. All additional stops must first be approved by the driver. So the minute they make a stop change in the app, you can point to this big ass sign and say, it's written right there, unfortunately, ma'am, or, sorry, sir, I don't go in that neighborhood. Too many drivers are getting carjacked. Too many vehicles are being stolen. We had a Lyft driver get killed over there last week, or an Uber driver that got robbed of every damn thing he had. I don't go to that neighborhood because Uber and Lyft are continuing to reduce our choices to the point where a lot of things that they have us do, if the driver had the ability to opt out, they would have done it from get-go. Such as adding stops without checking with us first. How many drivers are okay with that? Now, I've made videos before stating that I don't believe in doing long distance trips. I believe long distance trips in ride sharing are incredibly unprofitable, particularly if they are at base fare. Let's say you get a trip going from Los Angeles to Lancaster, and you get up to Lancaster and there's no trips coming back down to Los Angeles. That entire trip back is on you. That's an unprofitable trip, because if you're driving back empty, it means you literally are doing twice as far in terms of distance for the same money. Now, if you're in a city where you're always guaranteed a trip back, then this is not the conversation for you. But almost all of us operating in an area know that there are some trips we take that takes us out quite a distance, and it's very unlikely anybody's going to request a trip back. Let's say you're going to, you're going from the middle of a city center to some wealthy suburb at 2 a.m. after you drop somebody off or something like that. There's nobody in that suburb catching an Uber or a Lyft at 2 o'clock in the morning coming back into town. So that whole trip back is on you. That is something that the driver should be able to opt out of. I don't want to drive 40, 50 miles out. But when a passenger is in your vehicle, they can secretly make these changes to the app so that all of a sudden you're updated, the passenger just changed and added a stop. But in addition to driving way out or anything like that, most of us don't want to stop, period. I mean, period. Even if it's just 10 minutes at the gas station or at the supermarket, there is virtually no money at all being earned by stopping people places. So if you gave drivers the ability to opt out of stops being added, most drivers would. Most drivers do not want multiple stops because there is zero incentive in that for us, assuming the passengers will do what they normally do, and that is not tip. So I want to ask you folks in the comment section, do you have signs in your vehicle? If so, what is written on those signs? Like I stated before, I have signs that say tips are welcome and no trips, and I have a couple of towns I do not go to, particularly because those towns have no ride back. I'm in a metropolitan area that has another metropolitan area as a sister city, and a lot of passengers want to go to that town, and there is virtually no one coming back. So the towns are about 30, 40 miles apart. So anyone you take to the sister city, you're coming back empty. That's unprofitable because now you're getting paid for a 30-mile trip when you're actually doing 60 miles. So I don't take anybody out there. That may happen in your area. Maybe you live in, say, Dallas and Fort Worth. And you may get trips in Dallas going to Fort Worth and rarely get trips from Fort Worth coming back. So you don't go there. Those towns are about 20, 30 miles apart as well. Same thing with Baltimore and D.C. or Raleigh, Durham. There's a host of these sister cities, and many of you understand what I'm talking about. But in your vehicle, do you have signs? And if so, what is on your sign? What are some of the things that, if you had the ability to opt out, some of the choices they are now giving passengers without asking our permission on any of this shit, and I'm going to do a video specifically on that, but things that they are putting on drivers in terms of giving passengers options that you would rather be allowed to opt out, such as service animals. You can't opt out of that, but how many of us may be allergic to animals or just do not want our elbows and necks being licked while we're driving down the road? But let me know what's on your signs. It's your boy Tim. As always, subscribe to the damn channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.